diagrams. See, use case diagrams are those which are developed by Jacobson in the year 1993. What is the purpose of designing this use case diagram here? Use case diagrams are those which provides you the information about how the system is going to interact, with one component to the other component. It is the one which helps us to know the relationship between each and every requirement of your system. Requirements can be in the form, if I take requirements in the form of a components, requirement 1 as component 1, requirement 2 as a component 2, requirement 3 as component 3, and so on. Best example that I can give you here is for your mobile itself. Let us take your mobile as an example. Requirement 1 is motherboard, requirement 1 is power button, requirement 2 is motherboard, requirement 3 is processor, requirement 4 is RAM. So the relation, what must be the relationship between the power button and motherboard? Whether the relationship of power button and motherboard is an unique relationship, or it contains a generalized relationship, or it contains include relationship, or it contains exclude relationship. So there are different types of relationship which we can deal with. Okay, so use case diagrams are those which contains actors, use cases, and the relationship. Combination of actors, use case, and relationship together form use case diagrams. These use case diagrams are those which helps you to understand the relationship between each and every model of a particular system. And it will help us to know how the system must behave and what must be the functionality of each and every component of a particular system can be known to us with the support of use case diagrams. And these use case diagrams are those which will help you to know the flow of sequence of execution which has to take place between the user and the system. Flow of execution which has to take place between the user and the system. And this use case diagram are documented using high level use case diagrams. Use cases are documented using high level use case diagrams. High level in the sense English like statements. And also here this particular process involves with all these particular symbols. One is rectangle, second one is oval shape, third one is actor, and this particular rectangle indicates the system structure. This one indicates the component of your system. This indicates either internal or external actor of your system. And this symbol indicates the relationship between the components of your system. Relationship between the components as well as actors of your system. So here actor in the process may be human being or other systems. Actors in the process might be human being or other system which are used for interacting with the components. Each class of interaction is represented with the symbol which is called as oval shape. Each class of interaction is represented with an oval shape, whereas the line link which is represented in the form of an arrow mark is used for providing the connectivity between one or more use case diagram along with actors. This arrow mark is used for providing the relationship between each and every cases. And this is what about the use case diagram is. And the example for use case diagram here I am going to represent you here is use case diagram for ATM system. As we know, use case ATM system contains balance checking, depositing the amount, withdrawing the amount, transferring the funds from one account to the other account. So here we have three different actors, 1, 2, 3, where these particular actors we consider them as primary actors. Though like the actor symbol which is represented at the left side of your figures are considered as primary actors. The actors which are represented at the right side are considered as secondary actors. Are considered as secondary actors. The actors which comes at the left side are considered as primary actors. The actors which comes at the right side are considered as primary, as well as this person is considered as secondary actors. Okay, so now the rectangle which I have represented here, that particular rectangle is the one which contains the information about the use cases which has been used for a particular system. Whatever that we are going to represent within this particular rectangle, that particular thing forms a system. System is represented within this particular rectangle only, where this particular rectangle contains the information about the ATM system. So customers who are at the left side will be acting as primary customer, and the customers who are at the right side will be acting as secondary customer. What is the role of primary customers here? Primary actors. Primary actors. What is the role of primary actors? They are the one who is going to perform the operation, initiates the system, who is going to perform the operation in an ATM system. So if the customer comes to the ATM system and if he tries to withdraw the amount, then only the bank will reply. If there is no customer in the ATM system, if the primary actor is not at all operating with the functions which are involved with the ATM system, then the secondary actor which acts as a bank will be in an idle state. Why? Because there is no input from the customer. If there is no inputs from the customer, then the bank ATM system, management system will remain idle. Why? Because there is no proper inputs. So primary actors are those who are going to perform the operation, whereas secondary actors are those who are going to accept that particular input and provide the output back to the customer. They will accept the input, they will perform the operation, and they will send the information back to the customer. So that is what the role of primary actor and secondary actor. Primary actor initiates the operation, starts the operation, or start giving the inputs, whereas secondary actor is the one who is going to accept the input from the primary actor, performs the operation, and sends the information back to the customer. So this is what the difference between primary and secondary actor. Whereas these are the use cases which we consider as function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4, function 5, and function 6, where these functions are represented in the form of use case 1, use case 2, use case 3, use case 4, use case 5, and use case 6. All these particular functions are majorly dependent on a system which is called as ATM banking system. So as soon as some customers will be entering into the ATM system to check their balance, some customers will be entering into the ATM system to check, to deposit the funds, to withdraw the funds, to transfer the funds, and some more mini statements, changing the passwords. There are different types of functions which we come across in terms of ATM, out of which I have taken only few main important things, where as soon as the customer enters into the bank, and what he will do, he will be inserting the ATM card into it. As soon as he inserts the ATM card into it, the bank server becomes active. The bank server becomes active, and they will check the unique identification number of that particular ATM, which is of 16 digits, which is represented on the top of the ATM. So as soon as they check that unique identification number, if it is correct, then they will reflect back to the customer saying that enter your password. As soon as the user enters the password, it will go again, that particular input will be going to back to the bank, asking for whether the input that has been given in the form of a password by the customer is valid or not valid. So again, if it is valid, then again it will go back to the customer. Customer will select any one of these. If we want to check the balance, if we click on the check balance, then again bank will retrieve that, bank will take that particular input, he will open that particular account details, and he will send that particular balance details back to the customer. So this is how the interaction process which takes place in between the primary and secondary actor by taking the support of these particular functions, where each and every line which I have represented here is nothing but the providing the relationship between the primary and the secondary actor. Like primary actor will be having the relationship with all these particular activities, and secondary person will be having a relationship with all these particular activities. So here I have taken one small example in order to explain you in depth about this particular use case diagram. See, use case diagram normally it is involved with different options. One is, as I said, you actors, that is nothing but primary actor and secondary actor. Second one is use cases, and the third one is relationship between the use cases, and the fourth one is include and extend, which acts as one of the major important function which is required for each and individual systems. So each, like here, when it comes to the part of as I said you, like I think people are familiar with this particular primary actor and secondary actor. Now when it comes to the banking application, as I said you, as soon as the end user opens the banking application, it will ask for login. You will give your login credentials by username and password. As soon as you click submit button, it will check for password. If the password is correct, then only it will allow you to move towards the next block. If the password is correct, then it will provide you the option where checking the password use case is considered as base. This one is considered as base use case, and this one is considered as child use case of that particular base class. Whenever we have this type of option, as soon as you give the login option, it will go into the verify password, it will check for the password. If the password is correct, then it will provide you the information saying that go to the next stage. If there is an error, then we will be using extend option. Include option is provided with dotted lines with arrow mark, whereas extend is provided with dotted lines with arrow mark back to the customer. It will provide the information back to the customer saying that representing an error message here. So that is what the difference between include and extend. Include base to child, extend also base to child, but here base to child it will go, whereas here child to parent, child to base class, it will provide the error message. If the login credentials are correct, then it will allow you to go ahead with checking the balance, transferring the fund, making the payments and so on by checking the sufficient funds. So while transferring if you want to transfer the amount, then it has to verify whether the amount which you have entered for transferring the amount from one account to the account, whether that amount is present in your account or not, has to be checked. So it will include that. So it will check and it will perform the operation. Then this is what about the process which we are going to carry out with the help of include operations as well as extend operations. Whereas this one, where payment process, pay from bank, pay from ATM system, these are the one which acts as child of make payment. These are the one which acts as child of make payment. Make payment is nothing but this particular payment we consider it as generalized use case. Whereas these two are considered as specialized use case. So whenever you are going to perform the operation of making a payment, you have to click, like when it comes to the operation of your making a payment on Flipkart or making a payment on any other social media for buying some product, they will be providing you any options, pay from phone pay from Google Pay, for internet banking, or ATM card, debit card, credit card. There are different options, right? When you click on a specific operation, then only it will redirect towards that particular payment which has been selected by the user. Similarly, here we have two different options, where these two options are considered as child of make payment, where make payment acts as a parent and these two acts as a child parent. So the connectivity between the make parent and these two will be in the form of generalized association. generalized association. Both together, both we will be connecting to make payment in the form of a single arrow mark by representing both. So this one is considered as a parent case, and these two are considered as child case. Connecting the child case with the parent case is carried out with the support of generalized association connectivity. What is generalized association connectivity is? Generalized association connectivity is a one which is totally dependent on specialized association. Specialized association is a one which provides you alternative method of making the payment to the customer depending upon the requirement of the user. So as soon as you select a particular thing, then that will become active, and this one will be in an idle state. So connecting two different methods for one function is nothing but generalized association connectivity process. So this is what about the representing the use case diagram. Login, in order to verify, we will be including it. If I want to display an error, we will be providing an extend. Similarly here, verify sufficient fund. If the fund is not there, if the account doesn't contain, if the account balance is nil, and if I am trying to send 1,000 rupees to my friend, then if it will verify. If it is not sufficient, then there will be one more use case diagram which will be having a connectivity between with this verify sufficient fund and error message. If there is no sufficient fund, then automatically this particular use case diagram send the information back to the transfer fund saying that the invalid or insufficient fund as an error by using a particular word which is called as extend. Include will help us to verify, extend will help us to send an error message back to the customer saying that this is what that you have entered, and accordingly this is not a correct input that has been given by you. That is what this use case diagram speaks about, and this is one small example which we can give. Similarly here, the difference between include and extend. Like sometimes we will be getting the sneezes. As soon as I get sneeze, when I will be sitting with n number of people, or when I am alone also, sometimes when I sneeze, as soon as I sneeze, I will be closing most of us will be closing our eyes. As soon as I close our eyes, and automatically when I come back to the normal position, immediately I will be asking the excuse. So saying an excuse is an extend option, closing the eyes is an include option. As soon as you sneeze, automatically we will close the eyes. That is what the process which is considered as include. Extend, we may say or may not say. When this particular process will get executed if something goes wrong, and this will be taken place very rarely. The process of saying excuse may take place rarely, but closing the eyes takes place frequently as soon as you sneeze it. Include is a process of which has to be in the situation of your system. This is what one small example that I can give for include and extend operations. Okay, understood everyone?